14511. Abga 17. Abga 17. APM 4. APM 4. APP 3. APP 3. LP 4 5. LP 4 5. NNPP 2. NNPP 2. NRM 17. NRM 17. 17. That's 17 years. PDP 7814. PDP 7814. PRP 5. PRP 5. SDP 1. SDP 1. YP 1. YP 1. YPP 7. YPP 7. ZLP 2. ZLP 2. Total valid votes 22551. 22551. Rejected votes 417. 417. Total votes cast 22968. 22968.
Any cancellation?
Thank you so much.
Any cancellation?
None.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, 417.
Party agent, please. Party agent, any comment? No comment. Thank you. Please, Prof, step forward and present your paper. Okay, please, you have to give us 1 minute. Let him reconcile with the people that they have seen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the presentation. We will now do the collation here. 162. Ladies and gentlemen, this is from EC8D. EC8D. Nobody has touched it, and I want to unveil it now. Thank you. This is the form. It is captioned 2024 Ondo State Governorship Election. Summary of results from local government areas. Collation at state level, Ondo State. So we will now transfer the results here. In your presence, please. Thank you. So I begin the process of transferring it here.
compute all of the results that have been announced from last night, from early this morning, rather, till this moment, and is recording all of those results into the form just right in front of him. And so any moment from now, it's down to this final moments, this final minutes, we'll be hearing the returning officer announce the winner of the Ondo State governorship election. It took about 1.7 million voters to determine the fate of who sits at the Alagbaka House, and this election has been, touted as one of the keenly contested elections between, some persons would say, the two deputies. One is the sitting Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, and the former deputy governor to former Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, that's Mr. Akwola Ajayi. And so it's down to this final moments. These are the two contenders for this election. It's down to this final moments as we await the returning officer to announce what the winner of this election is. Stay with us on TVC News.
87293. 87293. 2160. 2160.
17926.
SLDO. Number 7.
Yes, sir. Okay. 84888. 84888. 888. Yes. 22975.
You're still watching TVC News coverage of the 2024 Ondo governorship election. What is down to the final moments already. 18 local government results from the 18 local governments have been read out, have been announced, and documenting it in the form EC8, where from that form is where we'll get the final announcement for this election. We're hoping to get a winner definitely from all of the results we've seen from the 18 local governments. We seem to be seeing a winner here, but we're waiting for the Independent National Electoral Commission to formally announce a winner for this election. As at last night, we had that INEC had uploaded 98% of the results, which had been read today on its IRF portal, and these elections, these results came in from about 3,875 out of the 3,930. And we'll talk about money politics at play, and about party agents disrupting in some local governments, disrupting elections in some local governments. But we understand that from some of the observations, we've gotten an analysis from some of the election observers. They said that some of the security operatives were able to douse the tension at most of these polling units. But interestingly, I'm thinking I should bring in some journalists to tell us really what they saw on the field. Can you tell us what you're seeing? Because journalists have been waiting here like since last night, waiting for INEC to announce this election. But talk to us about what your experience was like. Which local government did you cover?
Yeah, I covered Akure South, Ifedore, Ondo West, and Odigbo local government areas.
If you take a look at the security deployment for this election, some persons would have been skeptical about the militarization, if I would call it that way, of elections, particularly off-cycle elections. But do you think that scared people off the polling units, or the number of security personnel deployed for this election was actually right for it?
Yeah, it's none of that. The security operatives deployed for the election was huge, really. They were just stationed somehow to kind of uphold the security for the people that will be coming to cast their votes. But what really worked, that kept people away from coming out to vote, because yesterday there was this low turnout of voters everywhere, yes. But what I understand, I heard on the field is that before the pockets of attacks, intimidation, counter-intimidations, which some people were even sustained very serious injuries through machetes and things. So that sent a wrong signal to the public, so that people now feel that it's better stay back because they don't know what really is going to happen on election day. That's one. But you see, the security, most of the security were just there watching. Even during when people were buying those votes, the security people couldn't do anything.
We also saw some arrests. They made some arrests yesterday, and particularly I was at Okotubukwa local government, for instance, and I saw them arrest the US and trying to, of course, ensure that there's peace and order, which was what they were asked to do for this particular election. But taking a look at INEC's performance, really, one would have expected that we would sleep over another day at the Collation Center. But what would you like to see about INEC's?
Well, it's, I would say there's a shift, a positive shift, because before, you know how it used to be, we'll be waiting, maybe we'll take 1 or 2, then we'll wait for another 2-3 hours before we take another 2-3 local governments. But in a row, we did about 15, you understand, over the night. And if not for Ilaje and the SLO, which we understand the peculiarity of the terrain, which is quite understandable. But by and large, I'll say INEC tried. Really, they tried.
Like, this is coming from journalists, right? A pass mark to the electoral umpire. But what was your experience like as a journalist?
You know, we were used to this, and we know how to handle any situation we come by. It was really okay. At least I've not heard of any attack on journalists, and before we thought it's going to be a kind of, they're going to be kind of violence, but really, I think they've done all that before the election day. Aside from Idori, where there's some areas like Ofosu where election did not take place, and somewhere in Fedore where there was a report of ballot smashing. Aside from that, it was okay, and the experience was quite interesting, different from what we used to have.
Previous elections, elections where they would tell us to sleep over, and then we're just waiting for results to come in. But this time around, 15 local governments were read at a goal, and we're able to go sleep by around 5:30ish, and then we got back here. At least we had enough sleep to come back here for 12 p.m. Although they didn't start on 12 noon, they started, I think, about 12:36, 12:47, thereabout. They started announcing the remaining 3 local governments. When you heard that SLDO was not here yet, I got your reaction, and it was like, what? SLD is not here, please, we need to go. But taking a look at how journalists usually, just trail each of this off-cycle election, right? What do you think can be done to help journalists in their reportage? And because the conditions we're in, this particular hall is really little to accommodate the number of journalists accredited for this off-cycle election.
Well, talking about the condition that journalists are subjected to in monitoring election in Nigeria, it's really not a good one. If the INEC can do better, especially in the area of IREF, I think the solution lies more on the usage of IREF. Instead of waiting for results to come in from Ilaje or SLD or whatever, as they are counting it there, even in Ogogoro, when they count the units in Ogogoro through IREF, the results should be here at this headquarters here. Instead of waiting for a speedboat to move from Ogogoro 4 hours to Ilaje, to Igbokoda. From Igbokoda, they will collate there, then Igbokoda to Akure. It's another 4 hours. You understand? So then we're talking about 12 hours after the election. And before they will move down here, it's not easy. But with RF, immediately the vote is counted at the polling unit. They transmit it to local government. From local government, they transmit it to the headquarters here. Then it will, at least, it will remove some of these bottlenecks, and it will reduce the hardship that journalists, because many of our guys slept on this chair here. It's not really good.
There's also the conversation about allowing journalists to vote during election. I know most of the journalists, imagine the number of journalists that we have in Nigeria, and this number is excluded from, most of us are not even captured in the voters register in the first place, right? We can't even vote on election day because we're in one state or in one local government or the other covering this election. What electoral reforms would you like to see that can cater to this particular population? Because I call them like the population that does not vote, during an election.
Well, me, I'm a registered voter, but I've never voted.
Since 1999?
I've never. Because on election day, by 6 a.m., I'm already on the field. Later in the evening, I will be at the collation center till 2-3 days after. We are still on the job. But the truth is, we need to move away from this old style of electioneering. There should be a system where people can walk in, cast your vote wherever you are with your PVC. Once you use your PVC, you have a PVC, you should be able to cast your vote anywhere you are. Cast your vote, then you continue doing your work. All this issue of cast votes, hang around, let them count where you are.
Go back to the polling unit you registered, and then that's the only place you can vote and all of that stuff.
There's some professions that will not give such room. Like our own profession, we don't have that ample time. Even, I believe, doctors, nurses, those ones too, they are busy. For those people to be able to vote, like journalists, there should be a seamless mechanism that you can just, even while you're doing your job, you get to a place, okay, I want to vote. Go there, get accredited, cast your vote, and continue your work.
But that does that not question our impartiality or unbiased nature, where we should not be leaning towards any political parties?
No. Every one of us, nobody can tell me he or she is not apolitical. We all have what we like. I may be in your support, the other guy may be in another person's support. What we are really saying is that everybody should be accorded the opportunity to express themselves by the ballot.
All right, thank you so much. You just heard from one of the journalists that covered the Ondo State governorship election and given us his experiences on failed reforms that journalists would like to see in electioneering. You're still watching our special coverage on the Ondo State governorship election, and we're waiting for the returning officer to officially announce the winner of this election. Even though we've gotten all of the 18 local governments already announced, they've already announced the results from the 18 local governments. We're just waiting for the returning officer to formally declare the winner of this election. Stay with us on TVC News as we bring you more updates.
38163. 19 9 390 4
Party agent, please step forward to sign. One after the other, please. One after the other. Party A.
Party A.
Party A.
Party A.
Party AA.
Party AA.
Party AA. Party AAC. Party
AC.
Party ADC.
ADC.
Party ADP.
ADP.
ADP. Party APC.
APC.
Party APGA. APGA.
APGA.
Party APM.
APN.
Party APP.
APP.
Party LP.
LP.
Party LP.
LP.
Party NNPP. Party NRM.
NRM.
Party PDP.
PDP.
Party PRP.
PRP.
Party SDP.
SDP.
YP.
YP.
Party YPP.
YPP.
Party ZLP.
ZLP.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Please let us listen and be attentive.
I want to announce the discourse for the different political parties. For the different political parties. Party A, 186. Party A, 186. Party AA, 58. Party AA, 58. Party AAC, 304. 304. Party ADC, 4138. 4138. Party ADP, 1522. Party ADP, 1522. Party APC, 366781. Party APC, 366781. Party APGA 623. Party A 623. Party APM 162. Party APM 162. Party APP 83. Party APP 83. Party LP 1162. Party LP 1162. Party NNPP 206. Party NNPP 206. Party NRM 298. Party NRM 298. Party PDP 117845. Party PDP 117845. Party PRP 229. Party PRP 229. Party SDP 438. Party SDP 438. Party YP 134. Party YP 134. Party YPP 216. Party YPP 216. Party ZLP 2692. Party ZLP 2692. I shall now proceed for the declaration and return of the winner of the election. Okay. Okay. Total, excuse me. Total valid vote 497077. Total valid vote 497077. Rejected vote 11886. Rejected vote 11886. Total votes cast 508963. Total vote cast 508963. So I need to share this form first. The first copy belongs to the office. Please come here. Okay. The second copy going to Abuja. Who is taking it? Okay. Huh? The third copy, Nigerian Police Force. Nigerian Police Force.
Yes, sir. Secretary, sir. Secretary, sir.
Okay. The other copies are for the other parties. Party agents, please. Party agents present here. Party agents, APC. Party agents, PDP. Party agent A. Party agent AA. ADP, party agent ADP. APM. APP. NNPP. SDP. ZLD. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed for the declaration and return of the winner of the election. This is the paper. Form EC8E. Form EC8E. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last stage. And I read so that people know I'm coming up. Thank you. Sorry. Independent National Electoral Commission. I, Professor Olayemi Durotimi Akinwumi, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2024 Ondo State governorship election held on the 16th day of November 2024. The election was contested. The candidates received 58. Ajayi Adekunle Oluwaseyi of AAC 304. Nejo Adeyemi of ADC 4138. Akinodi Ayodeji Emmanuel of ADP 1522. Ayedatiwa Lucky Orimisan of APC 366781. Popola Olatunji Tunde APGA 623. Ogun Feyimi Isaac Kolawole of APM 162. Fadoju Amos Babatunde APP 3. For the Labour Party, there is a court case that the name should be substituted with Olorunfemi Ayodele Festus. Olorunfemi Ayodele Festus 1162. 1162. Olugbenga Omogbemi Edema of NNPP 206. Ajaun Noko Fumilayo Jenyo of NRM 298. Ajayi Alfred Agbola of PDP 11784. Ali Babatunde Francis of PRP 229. Akiboye Benson Bamidele of SDP 43. Adegoke Paul of YP 134. Aki Murele John 216. Mimiko Bansile Abbas of ZLP 2692. That Ayedatiwa Lucky Orimisan of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Signed by Professor. Thank you and God bless Nigeria. Please, party agent, just come and collect your copies, please.
Party.
This is a live feed of the celebratory mood after INEC has just declared Lucky Ayedatiwa APC governorship candidate in the just concluded Ondo governorship election as the winner of the Ondo 2024 governorship election. And according to the results just announced by the state returning officer, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, Vice Chancellor of the Federal University, Lokoja, Kogi State, APC garnered 366,781, while the PDP garnered 117,845. The ZLP garnered 2,692, while Labour Party 1,162, and the SDP with 438. Watching a live feed of the celebratory mood from where the governor of the state, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, and other governors of the APC are at it. So that's it. The winner has been announced. APC governorship candidate, who is incumbent governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has just been announced. And look at, the support from other governors. How significant is this?
Well, very significant. There's this solidarity issue, and all of them are there to support one of their own. It has become a tradition. It has become a tradition. Yes, you see, Imo State government, you see that of Lagos State, Borno State governor.
National chairman of the party.
Yeah, national chairman of the party, and other governors. As I said, it has become the norm. Don't forget that during the last campaign also, by the party, most of them were there, just as they were in Edo State. The governors of the PDP were also at the last rally by the PDP a few days before the election. So there's always this celebration and solidarity. So congratulations to the winner, Governor Aiyedatiwa, who has emerged. Just as Mayor said, now we can discuss it. So it's not that. But whether the issue is whether one is surprised, I would say I'm surprised. I'm not surprised by what we have said. The only surprising thing for me is that the APC was able to clear all the local government, yes, about 18 of them. And I was shocked that even the local government of the PDP candidate, in the person of Mr. Agbola.
But the PDP candidate seems strong.
Yes, I'm saying. I say he was a former deputy governor, but don't forget that he has gone through so many processes. At the last election, he was the governorship candidate of another party, not the PDP. I think it was ZLP or so that he was last. I can't remember which one now. Now he has moved. He now moved to PDP. But even PDP in that state, they are nowhere united. There was a lot of division. What APC had going for them is that, despite the challenges they had after the primaries, because they also had serious issues. You remember vividly what happened with the senator, where is it now? Jimo Ibrahim. Yeah, especially Jimo Ibrahim. It was even Jimo Ibrahim.
But Jimo Ibrahim from that same riverine area.
Yeah, that same area. And he vehemently opposed the candidature of the governor as the candidate of the party. But the party were able to manage it.
It was more about the process and not the candidate.
Yes, the process. But is there a process without the candidate? So the fact remains that. But the APC was able to put their ass together. And those within the hierarchy of APC were able to call him and say, can you just let can we just let it go? So they can talk all that. And they were able to come together and put their ass together.
And they supported.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the same thing with people. The worst for me is the Labour Party, because I thought that Labour Party, don't forget that Labour Party had produced a former governor in Ondo State, in the person of Shegun Mimiko. He was a former governor, in fact, two-time governor of Ondo State, under that party. And you expect that party. But the problem is that up to the day, a day before, nobody even knows who the candidate of the Labour Party was, because there was a court of appeal judgment that came in just a few hours before the election, which now set aside the person that we are thought.
All right, Chris, I'll come back to you. Let's take reactions from some of the governors speaking at the moment.
To congratulate my brother, my friend, the executive governor of Ondo State, Excellency Lucky Aiyedatiwa, for his people giving him another mandate to run this state for another 4 years, and really to thank all of ourselves you know, for supporting him, for supporting Mr. President, to thank our party, the APC, that is here led by our national chairman, Dr. Bumaru Ganduje, you know, for the support and the leadership they continue to show as a party, to continue to ensure that, you know, all of the programs and objectives of the party are being taken care of, and to show people that when you work very hard, your people have a way of demonstrating their support for you, and that's what has happened here today. It's won in all of the 18 local governments of the state, and is indeed recorded as, you know, a landslide victory for him and for the people of Ondo State. For me, it's just an assignment that we're grateful that the party has given us the opportunity to serve it once again, and we did continue to do the very best at all times. Thank you.
Well, thank you. There's no doubt this is a moment of joy. Seeing is believing, and this is democracy in action. But what is more important is that all the major stakeholders in conducting this election believe that the election is free, fair, and credible. Especially INEC, who provided the logistics arrangement, the manpower arrangement, and especially the security agencies, especially the police, the DSS, the civil defense, the military, and also the media, both print and electronic media, who presented what actually happened on the ground, and also the international organizations, international observers, the civil societies, even the community-based organizations. Almost everybody believes that this election is free, fair, and credible. And what is important to the people of Ondo State is that since they elected APC, they elected our candidate, they have elected for continuity, because there will be continuity in governance. There will be no abandonment of projects. There will be sustainability of programs and projects. And I congratulate for that. I congratulate the candidate himself, because it's a product that is sellable, and we are lucky that we have succeeded in selling him to the members of the public. We have to congratulate Mr. President for providing an enabling environment to be avoided influencing or subterranean influence in this election. Therefore, we have to congratulate him for that. Our next target now, in this geopolitical zone, the southwest geopolitical zone, our next target, and you know we are good in hitting the target, that is Osun State and Oyo State. We assure you, we will do all what is possible to bring them into the fold, so that we have political homogeneity in the southwest geopolitical zone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My guy, thank you.
All right, Mayor, let me come to you. So this is a landslide victory. And, I mean, we understand the power of incumbency. But with candidates like Abuola Ajayi, you may have expected something like 15-3, 16-2, but 18-0.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons for that. One, I want to congratulate Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, because he went through a lot of challenges. He was even almost impeached as deputy governor. And he had this running battle with the former governor's political family, and he survived it.
Even some of the federal lawmakers.
Yes, and he survived it. So I'm very happy for him. But the problem with PDP, there are reasons for that landslide victory. One, the two candidates, both of the APC and PDP, are from the same senatorial district. They are both from the riverine area of the state. And, you know, Agboola was a former deputy governor, but there's a limit to what you can really do as a deputy governor. You understand? You are like an...
As a former deputy governor?
No, even when you were deputy governor, there's a limit to what you can achieve because you are not a governor. So by the time he left, and was a former deputy governor, he cannot have the kind of standing like somebody who was not only a deputy governor, but a governor. So that gave him an edge over Ajayi in their senatorial district. The senatorial district have now come to accept Ayedatiwa as a leader from that area. So that was why he couldn't win his local government, because they are from the same area and the people has already accepted. Apart from that, PDP as a party is not as strong as it should be, because, when you have a party that is not in government, they will not be in a position to distribute the largest of government to their supporters. So their supporters has been outside government, as it were. So, and the way the Nigerian politics run, a lot of people, especially the grassroots mobilizer, will have drifted to APC for them to be able to survive. There are some people, that's what they survive on. So the PDP as a political party does not have what it takes to be able to keep their supporters happy. So that also works against them. Apart from that, the party itself is not united. There is a lot of infighting within the party. So the party is not strong, and they don't have enough resources to be able to match APC. So there's so many things against PDP as a party. So I'm not surprised that Ayedatiwa was able to have a landslide.
All right, Chris, let's talk about the process again, because despite, increased or enhanced, let me say, technological support for INEC, why do we still have to wait till the next day for the announcement of results?
Well, the fact remains that despite the kind of upscale we've had in the area of technology, there are still certain things that you still have to do physically.
Manually.
Manually. Let me use that, physically, manually. Yes, you can see that the last result came from the varied areas that are far away from Akure. So, therefore, that, the result would have been, and I told you that as of yesterday, over 95% of the result have been uploaded on INEC IREF, which to me was commendable. But even at that, we still have to go through the manual process of making sure that the various electoral officers in charge in the local government stay calm with that certified copy, the result that was signed by every member of the all those political parties. So that is always. We've not gotten to a point where we are, unlike in the United States. You saw what happened in the United States. They had a presidential election, and within hours, the results were, in fact, you don't even need the list. You don't even announce.
The TV network call it another.
They just forecast. But you still realize that they also have their own challenges. If you remember vividly what happened during the election, the last one before this, the one in the United States, where it took a long time to be able to get results in some states, like Georgia.
No, because of the recount. That's what I'm saying. That's what
I'm talking of technology. So even with that technology, there was still a recount because it was too close.
Yes.
So they had to wait for manual recount. All over again. So it happened. Like India, if an election is held in India today, do you know that it takes up to 2 months before the final result? Yes. Go and check. They had an election. At times it takes up to 2 months because India is the largest democracy in the world now. They are the highest. They have the highest number. But with that level of technology, so we are getting there. But my own problem is the credibility of the process, because there have been instances where, despite the fact that we have this uploading of results, but it comes to a point that even when people now bring the physical papers and the rest of it, you come to see that there's some kind of discrepancy between what was loaded on the IREF portal and the. So that is, but where you ask yourself is that, where I want to see is that, will there come a day in Nigeria that we have an election and nobody will go to court? Mayor?
Maybe. It's not possible because we are bad losers. That's how politics is. In America, the last election, Donald Trump was a bad loser. He didn't accept the result. He didn't congratulate the winner. You understand? So it's like that. There are still politicians. There will still be some politicians who are bad losers.
So it's not really a Nigerian thing.
It's not a Nigerian thing. There are some politicians who are bad losers who will not want to accept defeat. So people will always go to court because for various reasons. People will also go to court. What is important It's for us to be able to convince the generality of people that the process was fair, which I think was what happened in this case. You know, relatively, there were not enough complaints about the process because, like I said, because it's a one-off election, INEC was able to put its acts together. You know, they were concentrating. It's a one-off election, so they are concentrating on that one. So they were able to do better when it comes to logistics and the other things that you need. But yes, the IREF that you mentioned, that will always be there because somebody will post those results to IREF and there could be mistakes. What is important is the one that was signed by agents of the different political parties. If that supersedes...
That's why some of those delay because... Yeah. But even at that, you come to realize that even at that, you still see some agents of political parties, despite the fact that they signed, still come at the collation center. You see some people still oh, no, I did not.
That's irrelevant. Immediately you sign, if it's signed, it's binding because you have the option not to sign.
My own take is that, and that's back to the question I asked, if the process is seen to be fair, I see people trying giving up. Let me give a classic example. It has happened in this country. In 2015, we had a presidential election where an incumbent president, good lawyer,
considered, yes,
saw that the election was free and fair for him. And even before the result was called, he called his opponent, who was President Buhari.
So I think that's Jonathan.
That is what I'm saying.
That
is what I'm saying. Because he, within himself, felt that the election...
No, because he's a good man.
Yes.
It's just because he's a good man.
Yes. That's what...
Jonathan is a good man.
About the process. It's actually about...
Jonathan is a good man. That was why he did that.
Why do we have bad politicians?
You always have... You see, that's what man be. You always have the people are different. So you always have some people that will not want to accept, even when it is obvious that they lost. That's why I give example last 4 years ago in America. Donald Trump claimed he didn't lose. He's still insisting that he didn't lose, but he lost. So that's how it works.
So I want us to talk about the task ahead of the governor. But before then, let's talk about security measures, militarization of our elections. Can we ever grow beyond this?
There's no way we won't do that. There's no way we won't achieve that for different reasons. Two, one, our democracy relatively is still young. When people compare us with other clients, you see an America that have over 300 years of democracy. You understand? So you cannot compare that. Our democracy is still young. Because our democracy is still young, there is still tendencies for winner wins all. You know, before, thuggery and votes, the ballot snatching was part of our election. We have reduced that now. Okay, but it will be foolhardy for us not to put security in place, because if we don't do that, some people will use these same talks to go to what they used to do and then put violence down, and people will not feel safe to contest. So we will still need to have that security arrangement. And you know, because of the challenges that we have in Nigeria now, our police have shown over time that they cannot cope alone. So the military have to assist them in solving security problems. So when we have election, when they want to provide security, you will not only see police, but you see the other security agencies there. So it's not really militarization, but it's just that because of the circumstances of the way we run election here, we have to provide security.
Chris, would you like to say something about that?
Yes,
because for some people, it's not about the security measure. It's really about the number of security personnel deployed.
I totally agree with you with that, because on that, look at it, about 40,000 policemen were deployed to Ondo State for this election. This is an off-cycle election. At the general election, can you deploy 40,000 to Ondo State? Of course not. What is our police force? What's the number? Less than 500,000. Or a little above 500,000, about 500, 550.
I think some Nigerians will continue to doubt that number.
No.
That's what I wanted to tell you.
Let me tell you, that is what they'll be saying. But out of that 500,000, I'm just coming. Out of that 500,000, you can rest assured that about 100,000 have been sent to VIPs. That is what the problem is always. So while we're talking about the number, you are looking at the number on ground. But most of those numbers are with VIPs. You see some VIPs that have as many as about 10. How many policemen do you see with a governor? Even ordinary local government chairman. Has about 3 or 4 with him. Bank chiefs and all these other people, so-called big boys.
And big people like you.
People like you, Mayor. So those are the issues. But what I'm saying in essence, until we be able to make our election that it doesn't look like a do or die. Let me give you a classical example. Just Ghana here. If an election is being held in Ghana, on the day of election, people go about their businesses. Mayor, you are aware of that.
Correct.
Mayor, we were together in Ivory Coast.
Yes.
And we saw in Ivory Coast that you can hardly see policemen. And the whole place was orderly. You don't need, I don't know how many times, even we were going to the stadium, I don't know how many times we saw policemen. Unlike what we are saying here. So what I'm saying is that we have done hours, if we are going to have an election, the IG of police will give an order that there will not be any movement of vehicles or blah, blah, blah from 12 midnight to... For goodness sake, we paralyze all economic activity. In what part of the world do we do that? Why do we need to do that? But most of these things have been demystified gradually, whether correctly or incorrectly. I would give you a classic example. See what happened in Rivers State, where the police had a court order that they will not participate in the local government election. Mayor, whether that election was valid or not, there was an election in Rivers State, and there was no killing of a single human being. So what am I saying is that if the people on their own decide that the process will be as easy and solely as it's supposed to be, we don't need this a whole lot of policemen everywhere on a day of election, because that in itself over militarizing also affect people coming out.
People come out
because the pressure you give people that it is not going to be violent, they're going to be violent. So people would rather stay in their house or stay by their backyard and be playing football. Those that want to play will be playing. That is part of the problem when we are talking about the voter apathy. Because I, knowing fully well that, well, if I'm going out to vote, I don't know what will be the outcome, whether I will come out alive and the rest of it. I'd rather stay in my house. That is true. Then also the part is that when we talk about voter apathy, most people no longer have confidence in the system. They believe that whether you vote or not, a result will be announced. So what they just believe is that, for goodness sake, why should I vote? Are we doing
enough when it comes to voter education?
Yes, we might not be doing enough. We might say we're not. But the question you ask yourself, who does that? There are about 3 layers. One is INEC. Second is the political parties. Then third is civil societies. The question you ask yourself, how much of voter education do the political parties have? All you just see them is just do rallies. That is what in the United States, this election happened. The presidential candidate, the 2 presidential candidates, we are sending people to go what we call door by door. Door to door. Door to door. In fact, most of the presidential candidates were even doing it themselves. You saw Donald Trump, where he went to eateries, serving food. You saw Kamala Harris. That is how it is done. So that before the election, people are well sensitized. But even here, you don't get to see that most of the job is left for the media houses, journalists. We do most of the job.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, because of time, let's talk about the task ahead of Governor Aiyedatiwa.
He has his job cut out for him, and he has after the death of Akeredolu and he became governor, he has done relatively well. What he needs to do is to do better, to work on the platform that he has now. It's not a new governor per se. He has been unfortunately, because the governor died, he had been able to be in the saddle. And then so he understands what needs to be done. Ondo is relatively a comfortable state. It's an oil-producing state. So they have enough resources to be able to turn the place around.
States.
And, sorry?
I said a civil service state.
Yes, but they have oil too. They have oil. They are one of the oil-producing states.
I know.
So they collect the revision. So, but I think that those who have ruled Ondo, with all respect to them, have not done enough. Why I'm saying so is that economically, Ondo should be better the way it is. They are not making use of the water that they have. They have the deepest part of the ocean in any state. They should be able to have a free trade zone that should rival the one of Lagos. They should be able to have a port that should rival the one in Lagos. They should be able to create an hub for that part of the country, an economic hub that the state will benefit from. I think they should concentrate more on things like that.
All right, gentlemen, let's go for a break, and when we come back, we'll move on to other matters. Stay with us, everyone.
Coleman want to light up your house, Coleman want to give you GSM cable. Great quality, now with the new look.
Welcome back, everyone. We move on to our next story. Achieving national unity and development has continued to be a mirage of some sort for Nigeria due to faulty constitution. A former Commonwealth Secretary General, Emeka Nyauko, has warned that if Nigeria refused to do away with the 1999 constitution, it will be hard for anyone to fix the country. Nyauko described Nigeria as a pluralist country that needs to address its diversity with a true federal constitution. He added that pluralistic countries would have survived as single political entities in unity and progress are those that addressed their diversity with genuine federal constitutions, citing examples of India, Canada, and Switzerland. The former Commonwealth Secretary General stressed that if a pluralistic Nigeria is to achieve true unity and political stability to successfully tackle its challenges, it must have a truly federal constitution. Chris, let me start with you.
Yeah, I totally agree with what the statesman said. Some of us have been saying it for a long time that the current constitution that we operate in, the 1999 constitution, as amended, is not able to address most of the challenges facing us as a people. Mm-hmm. That is one part. The second part is the fact that, you know, at the beginning of that constitution, they say, we Nigerians, that constitution had no we. Because we as Nigerians did not come together. We did not come together to agree on that constitution. That was a constitution that was imposed on us by the military in 1999 when they were about handing over to the civilians. So you cannot say that we have a constitution that was duly agreed by the generalities of Nigerians that this is where we want to go. And that is why we find ourselves where we are. Because in the 1999 constitution, so much power is being concentrated in the center. So much, and that in itself is a problem. And that is why the states are not moving at the pace they need to move. We are just talking about Ondo State. I may you talk about some of the why Ondo State should be able to go beyond. And you have to understand the fact that the second largest butane deposit in the whole of the world is in Nigeria. And most of it is in Ondo State. And you ask yourself, why is that? The problem is that Ondo as a state and the government of Ondo cannot be able to exploit that mineral resources until it gets approval from there because it doesn't have the power. That is what the Constitution says. You look at our mineral resources, go to Kogi State, go and see the level of mineral resources deposit in Kogi State. In fact, Mayor, you remember last time we were here, we were talking about cement and the high cost of cement. We have limestone in abundance in Kogi State. And there are so many other states where, if you look at them, there is no state in Nigeria that does not have any mineral resources that it cannot call its own. But they cannot even be able to exploit because of the way we structure our constitution. So what we have said, unlike what we had in the First Republic, what we had during the parliamentary system is that every state developed at its own rate and now bring something to the center. Most of the achievement that was achieved in the Southwest then was through cocoa. It was through cocoa. In the North, we had the pyramids, the granite pyramids. That was the high point. In the East, you have coal. That was theirs. It was not until we start discovering this oil that I don't know whether it's a blessing or a curse to us as a country, because other countries that also have similar oil, we know what they've done with theirs. So I totally agree with him that there is the need for us to tear down the Constitution as it is. What we have been doing is just patch approach. We are looking at it, let us look at this section of the Constitution, we just patch it up, and we got the problem. Another problem is that when you want to amend the current 1999 Constitution, you know the problem you go through? And that will not be able to. Apart from the National Assembly agreeing on the amendment, that amendment has to be taken to the 36 states of the Federation's state houses of assembly to endorse it. So if they don't, after they endorse it, they will not bring it back to the National Assembly. And before you know it, you are not making an achievement. The question you ask yourself, why is it that go and check through from 1960 till now, We have not created, no civilian government has been able to create a state in Nigeria. Go and check it. All the states that we have, right from the 12, we started from 12, I think to 17 or 21, from 21, all were created by the military. Because the problem of creating state itself is so cumbersome. So I totally agree that I would have thought that we had an opportunity in getting it right. And that was with the CONFA, the national conference that we had. I can't remember the year now. I think it was during the Goodluck Jonathan. If we had followed that national conference to the letter and make sure that it might not be perfect, but that would have been the beginning for us. If we have followed it, and it was Goodluck Jonathan that made the mistake, because what he would have done after this was to have sent the report of that conference to the National Assembly.
All right.
But we didn't, and we lost it.
Right. So do you agree with Sekian? A further amendment or a new constitution?
Let me start by saying that the problem we have with the Constitution, 1999 Constitution as amended, is that we claim we are running a federation. We are running federalism, but it's a unitary constitution. Because the military, the way the military is structured, is a command structure. The power flows from the CNC down. So in putting together the constitution, they made a lot of mistakes so that the federative units do not have the kind of powers that they should have. I concede that. So the 1999 constitution is not perfect. But what I don't agree is that you cannot fix a country because you don't have a constitution that promotes federalism. I don't agree with that. You don't need a constitution to fix your country. There are UK, for example, practice unwritten constitution. They use unwritten constitution, and it works. So it's not because it is what you write. You can fix your country through good governance without the inadequacies within your constitution. Having said that, we can also make do with what we have and do a better job of it by amending the necessary structures in it. The problem is that it is cumbersome and there is no will to change things. For example, there was a time that some people in the National Assembly suggested that each state assembly should be financially independent of the executive. And it has to go around the state house of assemblies to be able to pass. A lot of the state house of assembly voted against their independence because that is what the executive asked them to do. So the constitution, yes, we can make the constitution better, but we don't have the political will to so do. So I agree, yes, that we run a constitution that is unitary instead of practicing true federalism. Yes, we need to tinker with it, I agree, but I don't agree that it's the constitution that makes it impossible for us to fix our country. It is bad leadership that made it impossible for us to fix our country.
All right, so Sekian, let's take it off from where Mayor stopped. Even with a new constitution, if the political leadership of this country is still the same, if typical Nigeria is all about acquiring everything for himself or herself, what progress or what change will the new constitution make?
I totally agree with you. I agree with you to a large extent, and also Mayor. But let me give you a classical example of what I'm talking about. Let's take roads. Most often than not, you see the deplorable nature of the federal roads in Nigeria, and they pass through the states. Now, the state governor decide, because most of them are not, the people, let's talk Lagos now. Most Lagosians don't know the difference between federal road and state road. So if every road is bad in Lagos, it's on Wolu. Most of the roads in Ogun State that people are complaining, oh, Ogun roads are, they're federal roads. Go and check the, Mayor is a Lagosian. Go and check the Oshodi, Ota, Abeokuta road. Go and see the terrible state that road is. It's a federal road. But people of Lagos will blame Sanwo-Olu. People of Ogun will blame Abiodun. But you know the problem there? If Governor Sanwo-Olu decides to fix that road today, the Federal Ministry of Works will say you don't have a right to touch that road. It's happened. The
problem is because you want refund.
And they get refund.
Yes, you want to get refund. You have to inform them.
No, some of them have said they don't want refund. That we're going to fix.
No, if you don't want refund, they will give it to you.
Some have said there have been instances where they refused.
No, that was before. But now, Ogun State and Lagos, they did the federal road from Ogun Ekpe.
Mayor, I am telling you there have been instances in the past.
In the past, yes, I agree.
We had those I'm talking about.
The reason for that was because there were different political parties running at the federal level.
We had those issues. So those are the part of things. I totally agree that the Constitution itself, we amend it or we change it, is the same set of leaders. For goodness sake, even at that, the Constitution, if we adhere strictly to the tenets of the Constitution, our problem has not been having the necessary laws in Nigeria. The problem has always been implementation. But I am telling you that we have so many hindrances based on the 1999 Constitution as amended. They have tied their hands. Let us look at resource control. Whatever comes from the center, the federal government takes about 51%.
Which is wrong?
That's what I'm saying. Which is wrong. That is what the Constitution says. The 36 states of Nigeria and 774 local government shares the remaining 49%. Is that on a constitutional issue?
But that can be changed.
That is what I'm saying. It can be changed.
You can amend that and change it.
About the political
that is,
to change.
Mayor, what I'm saying is
that.
No. The fact remains that except we amend, that was talk I said we can amend or we change. But the issue of amending also the process.
The argument is that we agree that there's imperfections in that constitution.
Yeah.
But there are some, for example, you can amend and change the resource control. You can remove a lot of things from the exclusive list and put it on concurrent list. Everybody can sit down and agree and amend the constitution to do that. What is wrong? What is so difficult in doing that?
You have talked about the political will to agree.
But the political will to do those things, that is what is lacking. That's why I give an example of the House of Assembly. When people said House of Assemblies should be financially independent so that the executive will not dictate to them, they voted against it and said no.
Even the local government.
There are some local government now that said we don't want independence. Don't give us our money. We want to collect our money through the government. That's part of the problem because the executive will dictate to some people and they will do what they are beholden to the executive and they will do what they want. That has nothing to do with your constitution.
So it's not about the constitution.
That's nothing to do with the constitution. It's the will to change those things that are not perfect in that constitution.
Yeah,
no, I do not.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I know you do not.
Yes. Why? Because why I don't agree with you is I'm a graduate of law. I've read this constitution from beginning to end. And I have seen a lot of lacuna within the constitution.
I mean, we agree.
So that's why which is what let us not debate from the discussion itself. Okay. I am not saying that leadership, we have gotten our leadership right. I didn't say that. I never said that. It's just like what we are saying now is, let the INEC conduct local government elections and the rest of them. It's neither here nor there for me. But what I'm saying is that the 1999 Constitution currently, as we have it, we need either a total overhaul of the Constitution or serious amendment to be able to get. My own point is that there's so much power concentrated in the center, and we need to allow. And for goodness' sake, it has, and the Constitution has made the state very.
Sorry? I think both of you are saying the same.
Yes,
we agree with you.
The Constitution has made the state so lazy. The Constitution has made the state so lazy that what every one of them do is that to wait until the end of the month to go to Abuja, share money, come back home. People are not even taking it. But the excuses they will always give you is that, okay, I have vitamin in my state. Osun State has gold. Currently, the Ministry of Mines is having serious issue with Osun State government on the issue of gold. The state said, no, we can be able to handle it. They said, no. So what I'm saying is that no matter whatever, whether leadership or non-leadership, the ground norm, which is what we call the Constitution, is our ground norm. Until something is done to the current 1999 Constitution as we have, we might not be able to move forward, whether leaders or non-leaders. Yes.
Have been to the president, and the president has said, for now, what I'm after is the economy. When I'm done fixing the economy, we can now come to a new constitution.
Because if they go to confab, it's just waste of time. So we did that.
The question is,
they just did that to satisfy people.
If today the president says, okay, let's have it, where do we begin from?
That's what I'm saying. If you want to do another confab, it's a bloody waste of time. And when Jonathan did the confab, he set up the confab to satisfy people's agitation. But for you to know that just to satisfy people's agitation, the confab, the document that came out of it was beautiful. but they just put it on the shelf. Nobody executed it. And my own argument is that we agree that the constitution is not the right constitution that was imposed on us by the military. I concede that. But my own argument is that, one, I don't agree that it is because of the constitution that you cannot fix your country. That is crap. Why can you say you cannot fix your country because of constitution? There are some constitutions that are not written. That's why I say UK. UK doesn't have a constitution. And they still run their country. Yeah, but my own argument now is that even the constitution as it is, with all the imperfections, if you identify the areas that are not perfect, like resource control, like devolution of powers, like removing things from the exclusive to the... You can change that. If everybody agree that, oh, these are the things that should have been put in this constitution, and they were not put there, then you sit down and change it. Why is it that you cannot have made that? Right. But I said that there's no political will to do that.
Mayor, I said the process is part of what I'm saying. You get my point. The process of making that amendment itself is a problem.
No, it is cumbersome. I agree.
Very, very cumbersome.
But that does not, because something is cumbersome does not mean it's not achievable. It's able to change things from the constitution.
It's very achievable.
But they don't have the political to do that. That's why I gave the example of the House of Assemblies that are supposed to benefit them, so that they don't need to wait for the executive to be able to get their own money from the first line attack. But they refuse and shut it down. They did not refuse. It's the governors that delegated that they have no choice. Exactly. So why did they agree on that?
It's the governors that delegated them.
Let's move on quickly to the final lap of today's conversation. The onslaught against the banditry in Nigeria continues to yield positive results. In another cheering news, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has handed over 58 kidnapped victims rescued by security agencies during joint operations to the Kaduna State government. Ribadu transferred the victims to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, who in turn handed them over to the state government. General Musa, who presented the victims to the representative of the state government and Chief of Staff to the Governor, Sani Kila, confirmed that no money was paid for their rescue. The defense chief also mentioned that certain individuals have been trying to undermine the government's efforts. Let's share the story by TVC News, Sifonesian, with you.
It's been a harrowing journey to freedom for these victims, kidnapped from their villages in Katsina State and held in deplorable conditions by bandits in the Birnin-Gwari area of Kaduna State. The group includes 35 men, 23 women, and even a 2-year-old boy, Ahmed Jibrin, who endured unimaginable suffering. Now they are being welcomed in Abuja by the National Security Advisor at his office.
It was the worst moment of my life. I wouldn't wish such a condition on my worst enemy. I never thought I would regain my freedom. Thank God for the security forces.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, highlights the success of the security forces intervention.
What we are seeing out of this number is the success of the collaboration right from the top, from the presidency, through the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Ministry of Defense to Defense, all agencies working together, including Kaduna State. The governor has been very, very supportive and very helpful. And it is this collaborative effort that has made it possible for us to be able to rescue these individuals. I know the question is, how were they rescued? It's a joint effort. We're able to do that through non-kinetic means of getting across. No penny was paid for these individuals.
He emphasizes the military's commitment to intensifying operations against threats to national security.
Why would somebody kidnap this kind of people? If you see them, they are barely just surviving. And that's to tell you that there are individuals that on their own are trying to make it impossible for the government to succeed. They are doing everything possible to sabotage the efforts of the government. That will not happen. I want to also inform Nigerians that we will continue to work hard together. We will not leave any stone unturned until every Nigerian that is in captivity is freed. Nigerians are free to move about within the country, both day and night, as it used to be before.
Later, the National Security Advisor officially handed over the rescued victims to Sani Kila, the Chief of Staff to the Kaduna State Governor, for further care and rehabilitation.
Security is everybody's business. Let's team up and fight these menace.
Beyond the significant rescues, security forces are reportedly increasing operations against bandits and terror warlords across their strongholds. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, Mayor, your first reaction to this story.
Yeah, it's a very welcome development. I want to commend the National Security Advisor and the security chiefs, because when things go wrong, we criticize them all the time. So when they make successes like this, we should also commend them. It's so sad that young people, innocent Nigerians, can just be kidnapped. It shows the level of insecurity in so many states in the Northwest, especially in the Northwest. Banditry has become a major problem for us now in the country, and it's so easy to kidnap Nigerians, which shouldn't be the case. But we have to commend them when they make successes like this. Recently, they've been doing very well. A lot of these bandits have been, the leaders have been killed, and they are making success. They are achieving success in different states, which is commendable. But above that, we should look for a state where we'll be able to reduce this banditry to a minimal level, because it has now become a way of life in the North, which shouldn't be the case. As we commend them, we have to enjoin them to be able to do more, so that there won't be a fearful environment where an average Nigerian is not sure whether he or she will be kidnapped by these so-called bandits who are just criminals.
All right, Chris, I mean, you heard that story, and I think one of the most interesting things from that story is him talking about the kind of support they got from the governor, which means that the era of blame game is over.
Yes, it is. And what some of us have always advocated is that we have some level of cooperation between the various military. Okay? The problem we've always had in the past is everybody trying to do his own thing. The Army is doing something, the Navy is doing something else, the Air Force is doing theirs, the police, and they are supposed to be a coordinating place. And the sharing of intelligence has always been a factor. Okay? And that is where the office of the NSA comes in. And good enough, the office of the NSA, with that of the Chief of the Defense Staff, seems to be working together, and that's why we'll be able to achieve what we have achieved. But the problem still remains that the main kingpin of these bandits, what are we doing about them? This particular set of people were kidnapped by a notorious bandit called Jambros. And he kidnapped them in Katsina State and made them to trek through the forest for several hundreds of kilometers through the Brenegwari forest.
So some very young kids.
That was a 2-year-old kid there. And after trekking, they trek from Katsina to Kaduna. That's the boy, 2 years old boy. They were made to trek from Katsina to Kaduna. If you drive, if you're somebody that is comfortable with that route, if you are going from Katsina to Kaduna, from Kaduna by road, it will take you hours. So for you to imagine that these people trekked through the bushes to be able to find themselves in Kaduna is an issue. And this is just one set of some of you. You can imagine the number of those still in the forest that have not been rescued. So we commend our security agencies. Where they are doing well, we need to commend them. But we still believe that we still have more. They can still do more. No. Because there are so many Nigerians that are living under serious insecurity, especially in the north. Now, while we are still battling with all these bandits and a new mist has come in, the Lukarawas or whatever they call them now, that the government, that the military are now telling us that they're even more dangerous than. And the question some of us have asked is that, how come that the military is just, they say it's a new terrorist group. It's a lie. It's not new. On this program, we'll be talking about that part. I'm telling you, we'll be talking about it since 2018. Yes, we have. I knew that DKO several times on this program, we have been talking about it. But the military came out about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, new terrorist group. The problem is that when they started establishing themselves, what do we do to take them out? Because that was how Boko Haram started. Boko Haram came with the comment that, oh, we're teaching Islam, we're not teaching Islam, Western education is good, Western education is not good, and people were falling for it and believing that this. At the point, by the time we knew what was happening, it blew on our faces when their leader was killed, and only for us to realize that, for goodness sake, these guys are more than what we thought. And with the porous border we are currently having, especially within the Niger-Chad border, and with the problem that ISIS is having, which is making a lot of them pushing themselves from Libya to Nigeria, we are going to have a lot of challenges, especially within the north. So I commend our military for what they've done, and hope that we'll have this level of collaborative. But the most important, the last one is that, as we used to say, if you see something, say something. Very, very key. But for you to be able to say something, our military must also build the confidence of the people that whatever information they are giving them, they will be able to use it.
All right, Mayor, a few minutes to go. But Governor Obasani, for instance, is calling for regional collaboration to tackle, Governor Obasani is calling for regional collaboration to tackle insecurity. And the question is, for some people, what then is being discussed at some of those regional security summits?
I agree with you. What he's trying to say is that it is important for states to collaborate, to be able, because part of the problem with these bandits is that when the security agencies take on these bandits, they move from that state, if it is too hot for them to survive, and move to another state and continue their nonsense there. So there's need for the governors of the northwest zone, where this banditry is more prevalent, to have this synergy of sharing intelligence, sharing logistic support for the security forces, and then so that we'll be able to know that, okay, this is what we are doing in our state, this is what I'm doing in my state, this is how we can collaborate, so that we can take them on at the same time. Without doing that, it will be difficult, because I've always advocated that we must take on these people at the same time. We cannot take them on, we cannot have pocket resistance and take them on state by state. For example, these people that were rescued came from Katsina State, but they were rescued in Kaduna State. So it's important for the governor of Kaduna State not to say that, oh, these people are from Katsina State, but they are rescued in my state. To provide all the necessary logistic support for the security forces to be able to do that. So that is what the governor is calling for, so that they can have collaboration.
All right, Chris. So my producer says we need to wrap up. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Mayor Kipelu, Chris Kendi Owadu, thank you so much for your perspectives on the program today. And please have a great afternoon. Thank you very much, everyone. That's all on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of the program at 5 p.m. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Unwrap a world of entertainment with DSTV.
Smash it, all right?
Wow, it's who I am.
It's time for you to see the world.
Welcome to paradise. To the future.
This is where all the fun times are happening.
There we go again. Fantastical!
Join me. Add a little more to your festive with DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Hello, TVC Communications. How can I help?
What makes TVC the right choice for my business?
Excellent question, sir. Let me share some exciting facts with you.
Start your day on TVC Entertainment with Wake Up Nigeria, a family and lifestyle show. Your view empowers women globally.
It's your view, let it count.
Entertainment Splash delivers the hottest celebrity trends. On TVC News, we keep you informed with breaking news and in-depth analysis of events shaping the world.
I will continue to speak the truth.
TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. delivers the most important stories of the day. Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach to million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707-272-8338 or marketing at tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African-American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and non-violent opposition against segregation in the South, influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. The peaceful protests he led throughout the American South were often met with violence. Nonetheless, Dr. King and his supporters were persistent and the movement gained momentum. Dr. King was a powerful orator. He appealed to Christian and American ideals and won growing support from the federal government and Northern White. In 1963, Bayard Rustin and A. Philip Randolph led the massive march on Washington for jobs and freedom. The event's grand finale was King's famous I Have a Dream speech. 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. In 1964, the Civil Rights Movement achieved two of its greatest successes: the ratification of the 24th Amendment, which abolished the poll tax, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited racial discrimination in employment and education and outlawed racial segregation in public facilities. In the same year, King became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. In the late 1960s, King openly criticized U.S. involvement in Vietnam and turned his efforts to winning economic rights for poor Americans. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement and organized a number of peaceful protests as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, including the March on Washington in 1963. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
You and your health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Hello, what a great moment for us to go further in our exploratory tendency this time around, getting to know more of our health, interestingly, in your own language, contrary to what, of course, you used to know about the way we doctors used to speak. And today is quite a very important day. A time we're going to look at now different types of pains that can come from the back downwards. You know, our journey in this side of the world has been quite challenging, very horrific. You see a person who is working as a civil servant 35 years, sitting on a bench. As soon as he or she is done with Civil Service Commission, life becomes miserable by reason of different types of pains. Some of us, in the course of our juvenile exuberances, we did a lot of funny stuff. In my own case, I recall in one of the occasions, my in-law was building a two-story building, and as a young boy, I got into the uncompleted building and looked out from the second floor, looking down. You know what? There was a trip of sand right there, and something told me you can make it. My friend, it's not funny. I took off from two-story building to land on that very sand, unknown to me that the distance between the sand and the building was not as I calculated up there. You know what? I cycled over the air and just came to the base of that very sand, landed, and used my mouth on the sand. I went off. Crazily, you know what? Nobody saw me. Only after a while, I don't know how long, but I remember I came up with sand everywhere over my... I have to pull out the sand and continue life. Come on. As a young boy, nothing appeared to have happened. But over the years, I discovered from time to time this very waist pain. Come on. And I will tell you how this can be dealt with. When it has to do with different types of waist pain, some of which what you can do in their own peculiar situation. And it's going to be something that you learn today, you share with as many what to do before the worst happens. Can we do our usual by calling everyone you know to be part of this particular meeting? And let's build a stronger us in a time like this. Do that. I'll be right back.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Diastolic 107 millimeters of mercury, heart rate 66 beats per minute. According to the World Health Organization guidelines, your blood pressure, medium hypertension.
Wow, doctor calling me. Hello, good morning, doc.
Good morning, Honorable. How are you doing?
I'm okay, dear.
I'm just seeing your blood pressure on our system, and it's slightly elevated.
Ah, you are seeing it now, immediately?
Yes, I am.
I just finished measuring it. I got up, I had my breakfast and said, let me look at my system and see how my vitals are doing. And you have seen it?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Have you been taking your drugs?
No, I've not taken. I'm yet to take it. I've not taken so.
Please take it and then keep us updated.
Okay, I will do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doc. Wow, this is a wonderful war. This generation is lucky. It appears that the daughter is living with us anywhere we are going. The daughter knows what is happening. This is awesome. Thank God I'm alive to witness this. Anywhere you are, you can measure your BP. There's no cause for alarm again. I thank Dr. Save a Life for this wonderful innovation. We've not finished taking it. The doctor has received a report. What else again?
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health. I remain your friend, Dr. Richard Okoye, the president of Dr. Save a Life Foundation, a non-governmental organization with a very clear vision of giving total health to the people of Africa through the power of knowledge. And today we are looking at something that most times everybody say, I'm having back pain. Okay, I'm having waist pain. I'm having this other pain going down my legs. Some people cannot even walk a distance. It seems as if they put a 4-gallon, they put a gallon of a load on their waist, and they have to find a way to sit down. In all of these, we're going to find out today, not all back pain or waist pain, they are not coming from the same origin. To help us understand that, let's fundamentally look at this structure. If you have been a student of this very program, you should understand what we mentioned, that from the base of your neck down to the waist, that we have about 33 pieces of bone joined together. You remember that? Now, today we're going to look at different types of problems that can come from the back, for which issue of back pain, waist pain traveling from any place, traveling that you can't raise up your hand, and all those kind of stuff. Now look at this. You have here now, the bones are all joined together and separated by this, what is called the disc, okay? This is what is called the vertebral disc. That is number one thing. So we are having today something that has to do with the bone itself. We are having the vertebrae separating them. And one more thing is that if you check out here, you can see also bones. And I think I can give you a better quality here. If you look at this gives us a little information on what happened in that line. Then you have this very bone joined together to this, but separated by what is called disc. All right? But you know what? If this be the only thing that you are standing with, of course it will collapse. It can easily have problem, and then you have this what is called facet joints. These very joints are the ones that help the spine to balance. Okay? It helps the spine that when you are making a movement this way and other, the spine is called stable. So by reason of this understanding, the problem of your neck, back pain, waist pain, and all that you are having could come from, number one, it could come from the issue of this very disc. We have seen a number of them last time, which we also will be in position to expatiate today. Then you have another problem which can come from here. In other words, any person that has a problem that has to do with this very bone, something happening to it, or this very disc, something happening to it, or this very joint, that very person is bound to have a problem. So let's look at what could happen to them one by one. If you have a look at it, this very bone, contrary to what's supposed to be straight, is now shifted away from where it's supposed to be. Sometimes in a very traumatic way, you can even crack the facet joints, okay? So when there be a shifting away, like you can see some people bend somehow and all of that in the course, when this thing happens, you now have a condition that is called spondylolisthesis. Spondylolisthesis happens when this very slides away from each other, and this will be in position to cause a lot of pain on the effect of the joints, and also pains on what can happen in the next. You can also have a scenario in that joints, that very facet joints, there can be arthritis. This very person having arthritis or this very facet joint will have pains. Severe pain, I can tell you. Now, the one other thing that could also happen, this is what happened in the neck. These two bones are the bones that enable you to make this 45-angle rotation, okay? There are the head, the first and the second is called the atlas and the axis. And if you look at this very place, that is what is called odontoid process. This odontoid process is what enables you to rotate the head, okay? This way and this way, over that very atlas. In a scenario where there is a crack over that very rotation, you will not be able to move your head, or you will come with a severe pain. There's one other one also, and that is the one we see now we are talking about with the vertebral disc, which in most cases we hear that you have lumbar spondylosis, cervical spondylosis, or whatever spondy, which I remember mentioned last time. Spondy means spine in Latin, and losis means problems, all right? So looking at all this also could be in position to come up as part of the problem they mentioned there. If you look at the disc, and this disc is quite normal, all right? And we also pointed out in our last meeting, you can have the one that is already looking weak, degenerated. It don't do like Bago Super Sack, we don't want tire. All right, you can see another one that bulges like a football. It is still a problem. And you can see one that can burst. This what is called disherniation. You know, monolocus, when you do MRI, you'll be hearing such big grammar. That's why we are demystifying that today to help you appreciate when we're going to talk about the solution, okay? So this particular one turned out like as if it is now like bread pad when done the chop, okay? So you see the person walking, but it seems like a lot of pains are there. This particular side, this one is everything jaga jaga, everything scatter scatter. Now so this scatter scatter going to cause the pain. And that very person is living with pain. So today we have been able to establish that pain coming from the back could come because the bone of the back shifts. It could come from the facet joint arthritis. It could also come from any of these disc-related problems. Now stay tuned. When I come back, we look at the symptoms you will have when you start having any of these problems, and what actually may be danger signs which you can't wait as soon as you see such signs. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
You and your health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
My name is Okereke Emmanuel Chidebube. I really want to share my experience about this kidney issue. When I was diagnosed of kidney issue, my mind skipped that I couldn't live again. But now, I've known that kidney issue is not a death sentence. I'm really happy. I want to especially thank God for making me to have a successful kidney transplant in Save a Life Mission Hospital, Port Harcourt. Kidney issue is not a small thing. So many problems on me, doing as if an ant is in me. My leg, I can't walk well. My feet swell up. My chest, I will be feeling so much pain. Sometimes I won't be able to breathe well. My lungs, everywhere, was blocked unless I go for dialysis, if I can get myself. But now, I can live again. I can even dance. I can even do so many things. Before, I can't eat. If you bring food for me, I'll be looking at the food. I can't be able to eat. But now, any food you bring now, I can be able to eat it and finish everything. And even want to lick the plate. So I thank God I'm living my normal life now. I want to especially thank Dr. Richard Okoye. My encounter with him was marvelous. He's the one who gave me hope that anyone who have kidney issue, there is not the last hope of the person. After seeing him, I was so happy because my hope and everything has come back again. He told me that, Okereke Emmanuel, nothing will happen to you. Since you have been here, that everything will work out for good. And if you can see me today, I'm shining and smiling because the hope he gave me, he really fulfilled his promise on me. I thank God on his behalf. I really thank the doctors in Save a Life Mission Hospital. They did a great job on me. One unique thing about Save a Life Mission Hospital is that they have an app called My Home Clinic. Even after the transplant, the app gave me an opportunity to be monitoring my BP, my vitals, right from the comfort of my home. When I check my BP and my vitals in my house, the information goes to the doctor in Save a Life Mission Hospital. It's like having a doctor with me in my house. I'm so happy about it. I thank Dr. Richard Okoye for the efforts he is making to reverse medical tourism in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. I believe with people like him, Nigeria and Africa will be good in healthcare. My message I have for those who have kidney issues is that all hope is never lost. There is no need traveling abroad. Everything you're looking for in abroad is here with us in Nigeria. If you look at me, you see that I'm a living witness. After the transplant, I'm able to get myself back again. I'm alive and healthy, moving around, interacting with people and my friends.
You and your health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Welcome back. We are still on You and Your Health, and we are talking something that is devastating the life of many people in our society, and that has to do with the issue of pain. We are looking today more extensively on pain coming either from the heart, from the spine, from the neck, going to the hand, affecting, so I can't lift my hand, or coming to the waist where I say there's a waist pain and all that. So what actually are the symptoms you will see when you have a back pain and that very back pain is becoming severe? Let me allay our fears that back pain is something that a lot of people have. 95% of back pain can come and go. And those ones that come and go with mild medication or also exercise, those ones could be in position to disappear. But we are looking at another one that this very back pain has been there. Yes, when you wake up, it seems and say, oh my God, to be able to wake up. Then you start observing yourself that when you make a walk, after some time, you feel this heaviness on the waist. Oh my God. It seems as if I may need to sit down. Then you start observing that you can't make a distance without having this kind of, oh come on, I need to have some rest. Something is already happening. That's number one. Second one also is that, yes, I've been having this back pain, but all of a sudden I'm discovering that this back pain is getting to my waist, from the waist, and as if it's coming to the thigh, to the knee, and down. Sometimes it seems as if it's coming down, causing weakness. Come on, something is going wrong. You can't afford to say, no, it's not my portion. No, I cannot go for surgery. No, and all those things. I will be able to tell you step by step what should be done in such a condition. And then it could go further, like if this is the one that actually affects the neck. This very person may not be able to raise the hand because the nerves that actually come from the neck, from the brain, the spinal cord goes down, all goes out this way. All right? So the one of the neck usually supply the hand, and it can affect. Sometimes if it goes very severe, this person can be paralyzed because it's coming from the major area down. The one of the back could also affect this other side. So these are some of the things that happen that sometimes you also could observe numbness or weakness of the limbs. Something is going wrong on a serious note. Very important for you to get this. At the back, you have about 5 pieces of this very bone, and each of them, they have this very disc separating them. The disc of this, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th lumbar vertebra, okay, these very 3 control the urine, control also ability of you to hold the urine or hold your feces, okay? If the nerves around this very region is compressed and become very terribly compressed, it will come to a point this person can be pulling on his or her own without knowing. It could be person to urinate without knowing. And that's why you see a number of them can be on permanent pampers and may not be able to walk again. Very key point that we have understanding of this thing. And it's also important for me to mention, in addition to the issue that has to do with the spine, radiating pain here, yeah, somebody else could also have a problem on the hip. The hip joint, the issue of avascular necrosis of the hip, or arthritis of the hip, or arthritis of the knee. Stay tuned. When I come back, we now look at one by one the latest approach to each and every one of them as they go by.
The greatest gift that can be given to somebody who has arthritis is not giving the person a car. It is not a car that the person needs at that particular time. What the person needs is solution to the problem that will relieve that person of that pain, because it's very painful. And it makes you sad. Even to eat food, sometimes you won't be happy to eat the food. Sometimes you feel like dying. It's better I live this life instead of facing this kind of pain. I'm ever grateful to Doctors Save Our Life Foundation for what God has used them to do in my life. They have done so well, and God will reward them.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health, and today's edition is something critical. That most of the people's gratuity, while they work 35 years waiting for gratuity, their payback to that 35 years may not be just gratuity in terms of money. It should also be a gratuity with respect to back pain, severe back pain, arthritis pain. It could happen having been able to sit in a place for just all that while, and that's why, please, even if, let's start now, exercising of your body has a way of oiling that particular joint, okay? Exercise of your back in these 3 dimensions, if not for any other thing, these 3 types of exercise can strengthen the muscles of the back, and by so doing, be able to stabilize your joints as you make progress in the journey of life. Okay, now, in a scenario where there is pain, of course, you know the pain is just there. 3 things you can do. Medications are available for you to be in position to take, and taking of those medications has to be with caution to avoid the issue of ulcer. So you support it with food and otherwise taking it. Additionally, there is currently a targeted injection that can be given to the back. Now, before you give that injection, there should be an absolute isolation of the point. We have mentioned, number one, that the problem could come from the issue of the disc. It could come from the issue that has to do with facet joints. Not necessarily that it's just on those very discs only. It could come from facet joints arthritis. And if that happens, you need to have a targeted injection. That is the modern practice in this area. Not like shooting up epidural anywhere it goes. No, you can now have a targeted injection in those areas. Okay? The injection could be issue of the nerve root block, okay? Or it could be an issue of epidural, but that should be targeted, for which that particular result can be there, added with improving exercise in a function. And the last aspect of it is that if there be any of these, as in the case of spondylolisthesis, okay, or the issue that has to do with distal spine, at this very junction, if there is issue of disc herniation, a discectomy now can be done. Permit me to tell you, majority of the spine surgery right now is minimally invasive. Very, very minimal. In the such that direct to whatever causes distal pain, address, and this very person can get up and start walking. In most of the cases, without a need of even physiotherapy. It's an interesting thing happening in our time. But we are in a society where everybody will say, please don't go out for spine surgery. If you don't go for spine surgery, you can be paralyzed. That is very important thing. But because of the previous approach to it, most times people say, no, I don't want to go for spine surgery. But if you do not go, you also beckoning for overall paralysis of the engagement apart from the pain. So if it comes to a point where that is necessary, today you can be in position to a scenario where there is a stenosis, a narrowing. You could be in position to do what is called spinal decompression and stabilization over this bone. And it will not be able, and it won't be able to cross the nerve that is actually right there. Very, very important for us to understand that today you start off stabilizing your body by exercise, okay? And secondly, you could be in position to consider medication, the issue of spinal injection, which is now today targeted. And the last one is that when it becomes necessary for spine intervention, do not delay. Delay could be terribly disastrous. I can tell you. It becomes important that we get to understand this first and then be able to advise. In a scenario where there is also issue that has to do with osteoarthritis, you can get what is called today painless and minimal stitch knee replacement surgery. The same can also be done for hip and a number of issues that center on bone can today, in our time, with latest technology available, excellently addressed, and you can bounce back to life again with a painless experience once more again. These are the things that are available in our time. Many are not aware and dying in pain and dying out of lack of knowledge. And we want to say no to that. The knowledge you got today with respect to the origin and different things to be done when it has to do with back pain, knee pain, waist pain. Share with everyone you know. Together, I tell you, we can build one day a painless society. God bless you.
For God so loved the world, and he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. In Proverbs 28 verse 13, the Bible says, he that covereth his sin shall not prosper. But whosoever confess them and forsake them shall have mercy. Unbelief is sin, unforgiveness is sin, selfishness is sin, insincerity, disobedience, blasphemy, anger, envy, speaking evil of other people, backbiting, murmuring, cursing people, swearing with heaven and earth. All these are terrible sins. You must confess them, denounce them, and promise God no more.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Committee Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Committee Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello, thanks for joining us on the news at 4. We start the news this hour with the latest on the Ondo State governorship election. A few hours ago, the Independent National Electoral Commission declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, winner of Saturday's election. Governor Aiyedatiwa won in all 18 local government areas of the state with a total of 366,781 votes, to defeat Agboola Ajayi of the People's Democratic Party, who scored a total of 117,845 votes. The candidates of the ZLP and Labour parties polled a total of 2,692 and 1,162.
Aiyedatiwa Lucky Orimisan of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
And it's celebration for Lucky Aiyedatiwa and the All Progressives Congress after INEC declared him winner of the Ondo governorship election. APC leaders, governors and party supporters gathered at the banquet hall of the government house to celebrate the victory.
A landslide victory for him and for the people of Ondo State. For me, it's just an assignment that we're grateful that the party has given us the opportunity to serve it once again. And we did continue to do the very best at all times.
And this is democracy in action. But what is more important is that all the major stakeholders in conducting this election believe that the election is free, fair, and credible. And what is important to the people of Ondo State is that since they elected APC, they elected our candidate, they have elected for continuity. Because there will be continuity in governance, there will be no abandonment of projects, there will be sustainability of programs and projects. Our next target now in this geopolitical zone, the southwest geopolitical zone, our next target and you know we are good in hitting the target. That is Osun State and Oyo State. We assure you, we'll do all what is possible to bring them into the fold.
And we're hoping to be joined by the newly re-elected governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who will be speaking to us about how he feels about this election and, of course, INEC's conduct during the election and the plan for Ondo residents. But just before that, let's go to Zamfara State, where the governor, Dauda Lawal, has sworn in the newly elected chairman in 14 local government areas of the state. The swearing-in was held shortly after the chairman received the certificate of return from the chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission, Bala Aliyu. Governor Lawal commended the State Independent Electoral Commission and residents for a credible, free and fair local government election. The governor assured that he is committed to ensuring that local government becomes stronger and more effective in the state. In Ogun State, the All Progressives Congress has been declared winner of all the 20 chairmanship seats in Saturday's local government election. TVC News senior reporter Kazim Olowe has more details.
Total number of votes cast.
The Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission has declared the ruling All Progressives Congress as the winner of the all chairmanship and councillorship seats across the 20 local government areas in the state. The chairman of the electoral body, Babatunde Oshibodu, said a total of 613,156 votes were cast during the election across the state.
And I therefore declare that the winner of the election into the chairmanship seat of Ado-Odo Ota local government is Adewale Wasiu Lawal of the All Progressives Congress. And that completes the results for all the 20 local governments throughout Ogun State.
Prior to the announcement of the results, politicians have expressed different views on the conduct and likely outcome of the exercise.
We totally reject whatever results that will be declared in this sham of an election.
I see this as a vote of confidence that when the elections are concluded and everybody has expressed, their choice through the ballot, everybody will be happy with the outcome of the result.
And it is expected that at the end of the day, my party will come out victorious.
Now that the results have been announced, the electoral body will present certificates of return to the winners, as residents will be expecting them to immediately commence developmental works at the grassroots level. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
Into the nation's capital, where President Bola Tinubu has conferred second highest national honor on visiting India. Nigeria's president mentioned that the visit of the Indian Prime Minister will help both countries rekindle and reclassify the relationship between both countries. The Indian Prime Minister promised to send 20 tons of relief materials to Nigeria to support the administration's humanitarian efforts of the government.
In furtherance to deepen our relationship, I will confer on you today the Prime Minister of India, Nigeria's national honor, the Grand Commander of the Order of Niger, by expressing appreciation of His Excellency to you for the visit and being favorably disposed to our renewed vision of mutually beneficial bilateral relation with Nigeria. I'm confident that our discussions will enhance Nigerian-India relations on the basis of mutual respect and shared
cooperation forward. As we just said, we have always worked together to address challenges such as terrorism, separatism, piracy, and drug trafficking.
And to security matters, the Nigerian Air Force has carried out strikes on criminal strongholds in Kaduna State, killing several combatants and destroying critical resources used by the bandits. In a statement by the spokesman for the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Lushola, the strikes were conducted under Operation Fasten Yama on the 12th of November, targeting major bandit hideouts in Doya Hill and Baitana Forest, located in Giwa, Kaduna State. He also explained that the location notorious for their dense vegetation and concealed caves have long provided cover for bandit operations. He mentioned that the strikes were carefully planned following detailed intelligence reports that identified key targets, including weapon stockpiles and logistic hubs, were provided. To Borno State, where the governor, Babagana Zulum, has launched a summit in Maiduguri aimed at reforming the Almajiri education system. The summit seeks to eradicate misinterpretation of the Islamic knowledge, which contributed to the emergence of Boko Haram insurgency in that region. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida has details.
This summit brought together education stakeholders, religious leaders, and community advocates to discuss how best to integrate Almajiri with basic formal education. Additionally, it will give participants a forum to talk about problems, exchange ideas, and provide workable answers to the difficulties the Almajiri educational system faces. Governor Babagana Zulum declares open the summit.
The Sangaya reforms is a great development and will bring Almajiri a better chance in life, particularly the introduction of integrating Western education, vocational education, numeracy and literacy skills into the centers, which are also described as Almajiri and Islamic schools. I urge our educationists to embrace these reforms and work tirelessly to ensure that our children receive the education they deserve.
The Borno State Arabic and Sangha Education Board wants comprehensive overhaul of the Almajiri system.
We are signing to law a bill seeking to provide 0.5% of the state allocation and that of local government allocation to the Sangha Board. I urge our educationists to embrace these reforms and work tirelessly to ensure that our children receive the education they deserve. Our future, our children together will conclude a brighter future for Borno State.
Part of the recommendations at the summit is for government to put measures in place to curb the influx of Almajiris from neighboring states and countries and to support Sangaya schools and teachers. It further suggests that the Sangaya Reform Board should be empowered to immediately embark on continuous registration of non-registered Sangaya and Islamia schools. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
We're still on to TVC News at 4. We'll be back with more stories after this break. Stay with us.
In the month of November, on the 2nd of November is the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. On the 14th of November is the World Diabetes Day. On the 17th of November is the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims. On the 18th day of November is the World Day for the Prevention of the Healing from Child Sexual Exploitation, Abuse and Violence. On the 19th of November, it is the International Men's Day, and it is also a day to mark World Toilet Day. On the 21st of November is the World Television Day. And finally, on the 25th of November is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Stay tuned to the TVC News for this reports and analysis.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thank you for staying with us on the news desk. Going to the presidential villa where President Bola Tinubu is expected to leave Abuja for Rio de Janeiro, Brazil today to attend the 19th meeting of the G20 Leaders Summit. President Tinubu's participation is at the instance of the Brazilian president and current president of the group. The summit scheduled for 18th and 19th of November will bring together leaders from the world's top 20 economies, including the European Union, the African Union, and multilateral financial institutions, among others. This year's meeting is themed Building a Just World and Sustainable Planet. Participants will discuss the fight against hunger and poverty, reform of the institution of global governance, and sustainable development and energy transition. President Tinubu is also expected to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit. And now to the war against illicit drugs, where operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have foiled attempts by drug syndicates to export large consignment of cocaine and opioids to the United Kingdom, Italy, Turkey, and Qatar. We have details in this report.
Attempts by drug syndicates to export large consignments of cocaine, methamphetamine, and opioids through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, to the United Kingdom, Italy, Turkey, and Qatar have been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. This feat was achieved after a series of intelligence-led operations recovered the illicit drugs and arrested the masterminds. In a related development, the NDLEA has arrested a businessman with 1,100 pills of tramadol hidden inside his luggage, while attempting to board a flight going to Istanbul, Turkey, at the Terminal 1 of the Lagos airport. Following credible intelligence, NDLEA officers of the Directorate of Operations and General Investigation and their counterparts from the FCT command of the agency raided a hotel room in Abuja, where they arrested 2 suspects. Another suspect was arrested with 1.8 kg of methamphetamine by operatives of the Special Operations Unit in NDLEA in Lagos State. In Kwara State, NDLEA operatives arrested a suspect with 120.8 kilograms of cannabis and some liters of codeine. While commending the officers and men of different commands of the agency for the arrest and seizures, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, stated that their operational successes and those of their colleagues across the country are well appreciated.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, is seeking the active participation of all key players to overcome the challenges hampering the success of the energy sector. He made the call at the second annual Socio-Economic Summit of the Jericho Businessmen Club in Ibadan, Oyo State. We have details in this report.
The theme of this year's summit is Powering Oyo State for Industrial and Economic Development. Here, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, highlighted some of the challenges affecting energy security in Nigeria, to include aging infrastructure, resource limitations, capacity inadequacy across the value chain, and predominantly the consistent vandalism experienced on the transmission networks across the country. He also spoke about strategies to surmount these challenges.
For us to guarantee stable, functional, reliable, and affordable power to every Nigerian, there needs to be a consistent investment of huge funds, which has been estimated at about $10 billion on an annual basis over the next 10 years.
Key players in attendance emphasized the significance of energy in the production value chain, commending government for efforts in reversing the setback.
The theme of this year should be based on power, so that we bring experts together. We bring people in the industry, experienced people that have experience in the industry, in power, in energy. Let's bring them together in Ibadan land and brainstorm and provide solutions to the problem of electricity.
So coincidental that we just have a Greek collapse, not quite long that the whole Nigeria is thrown to darkness. So coming at this point to talk about how can we revitalize this sector. And you can see the Minister of Power is also on seat. It tells you that Jericho Business Schools know what they are up to, and they are ready to match any economic expert on platform.
You see the area of expert and keynote discussants that are here today are not only operators, regulators, and also policy experts in energy sector.
High point of the event was the presentation of a total of 5 million naira to the top 3 finalists of the JBC Ibadan Youth Innovation Challenge.
A round of applause for Works Engineering, please.
Our work and our vision as UNIDO to continue to promote these youth innovation programs across all the different geopolitical zones in Nigeria, and if we can, we'll spread it across Africa.
Experts at this summit believe that energy sustainability is key to Nigeria's socio-economic development.
Let's go back to Ondo State, where a celebration for Lucky Aiyedatiwa and the All Progressives Congress after INEC declared him winner of the Ondo governorship election. ABC leaders, governors and party supporters have gathered at the banquet hall of the government house to celebrate the victory. Well, I've been joined by the newly elected governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Thank you for joining us on the news at 4, and congratulations on winning this election.
Thank you.
Right, so talk to us about how you feel about winning this governorship election, and what should the Ondo people be looking forward to as you begin this tenure?